time I was also, doing a coaching course as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a schedule together and I tried as much as possible to stick to that schedule. Mm-hmm. However, there were a few roadblocks, like choosing the wrong people to help me with my book, who scammed a lot of money out of me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is a part of, living and learning, and also a part of the book writing industry, is that there are that many people out there that just want to take your money.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So speaking about that schedule, what
Mm-hmm.
would, say, a typical day look for you, committed to your daily practice of going to work, coming home? What did that look like? Because the reason why I ask is I was having a conversation with another lovely lady that's going to be coming on, Jennifer Glasson, at the end of February. And I truly believe we're all at 99% of wanting to do something. We're at that 99%. And through the words and actions or visualization, as people share words with us, or when we read them and we come up with our own pictures, that 1% will move us to do something. So this is why I'm kind of dissecting what that schedule looks like and what was realistic in that 2-year schedule to get that first book in your hand. What did that look like?
Okay, so a typical day for me looked like, pretty much, I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Ooh. I greet my Facebook followers with a good morning post and also a positive quote or affirmation. Mm-hmm. I then do about an hour's worth of a meditation. Mm-hmm. I then do an hour's worth of exercise. I get ready for work. I start work at about 7:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And when I'm at work, I completely zone into my work. There's very little in the way of personal stuff that gets in the way of my work. And then I finish, if I can, 7.5 hours later, because it's a full-time role rather than a contract role. So anyway, after that, when I get home, what I would do is I would have my dinner, and then I would get stuck into the writing of the book. So piecing together what I wanted to put in the book, how I wanted to write it, where I needed to put things, how much of the book I wanted to do in that night. And then by that time, it would be about either 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. And I do a half an hour meditation, and then I go to sleep.
Wow. That's commitment. That is definitely commitment. And now we're going to move to the topic of your traumas. Like I said, I did read briefly on your website what some of the traumas that you've been through. And knowing that the stories are being shared within your book, how can I ask this as I'm trying to paraphrase or put it into words in my brain here, from my brain to my mouth to sound intelligent? When you started reliving those traumas in the past to share it into the story, that didn't stall you or stop you in your tracks and wanting to get your story out, because reliving it to get it out onto paper, mm-hmm. in order to share it out, it's like, you know what? That's either too painful. I don't want to go any further. Enough is enough. How did that, because there is quite a story, like I read on your website, and feel free to share or not share. I'll leave that up to you, what I read underneath your bio on your book. Mm-hmm. How did that not paralyze you? That's the right word. Paralyze you in going, you know what? I can't share this anymore. I can't get this out.
Okay, there was actually one point where I actually was paralyzed at one point and thought that I couldn't get it out. Now, that was after about a year's worth of communicating with a fellow over in the UK the US. He was another author. We became really good friends online and everything. And then I sent him money to help me with my book, like the book cover, the website, which I never got from him. Also the formatting and the typing of my book, because we did interviews every night of my life and how I felt and that sort of thing. And there was this one point where he was putting excuse after excuse after excuse out as to why he couldn't send me anything with regards to my book. And that one point was when I said, look, I've had enough. I want my money back. He went dead silent and I never heard from him again. And because we were really, really good friends, practically best friends, it really tore my heart out. And it took me about 6 months to recover.
Wow.
I actually hired another coach to help me step myself through it and get motivated again to actually get this book happening again. I wrote it from scratch and then pieced the little bits that I had shared on social media into that. So it was stitched in to get it out.
Just amazing, Lynette. So I see you have some copies of your books behind. One of the things that I love to do is have the author read the back of the book. There's so many times that we go out to our favorite bookstore or online, and for lack of a cliche word, we judge a book by its cover. And I believe that the more that we turn things over and we go a little deeper in what the author is writing about. So I invite you now to read the back of your book, please.
Okay, so my book is Dare to Be You, Break Free from the Shackles of the Past to Become Yourself Outstanding and Unstoppable. Okay, so the back reads, Dare to Be You tells the author's journey and the trials and tribulations she went through to become the person she is today. To get to where she is today, she had to turn her life upside down. Lynette has had to learn how to replace limiting beliefs with empowering beliefs, and also to face her fears. In doing so, she has dragged herself out of the depths of depression from traumatic experiences she has gone through in her life. Thanks to Lynette's holistic health support system she has put together over several years, this has strengthened and helped her to endure, move beyond the fears, trauma, and limiting beliefs that were developed from those traumatic events in the past. In writing this book, Lynette hopes to inspire you as the reader to take action to overcome traumatic experiences that you have previously or are still experiencing in your life today. This system will give you several holistic ways to become healthier, more positive, and stand up in your own truth for what you believe in, to dare to be you in all aspects of your personal, business, and professional life. The system is a guideline on the tools you can use to create and tailor a holistic health support system that suits your needs, strengthen and support you during turbulent times. It is not for the faint of heart who want a shortcut to change their lives, as it will take time, effort, and discipline to truly transform your life. If you are up for the challenge and really want to change your life for the better, then this book is the book to invest in.
So the word trauma comes up quite a bit. And when you say trauma, can you give our watchers out there, or people that are going to watch this on the replay, what your definition of trauma is? What does trauma mean? And what traumatic things or events, that's a better word, events that have happened in somebody's life that this book could help serve?
Okay, so trauma to me is an experience that you've gone through which is negative. It's either happened to you or through one of your choices, you've made it happen. And for me, trauma means that it's impacted your life in some way, in a negative way. And what you need to do is you actually need to learn from those events to be able to move forward. Okay, so what I mean by trauma is I've been through rape and abduction. I've been through theft of a large sum of money. I've been in abusive relationships. I have also been emotionally abandoned and emotionally abused as a child. I have been through bullying, harassment. I've also had a battle with cervical cancer. There are a number of other traumatic events, but those are sort of the really big sort of issues.
Good to know. Thank you for sharing with me. And this is why I asked you that question earlier about being paralyzed, and when reliving the writing about the trauma and where it negatively impacted your life, to be able to work through it to what the other side was going to look like. You had to go there first in order for you to get over here to present. And I'm not going to say lightly the solution, but the guideline. And I love that how you wrote that on the back of your book, the guideline or the guidance that your book is going to lead somebody through. So at this time, I'd love to ask you, who are 3 people that you believe this book could serve to? Who is a good person that could have this in their hands and is a good person to be either gifted the book or purchase your book?
Okay, so friends that you know that that are going through traumatic events at the moment, that need some inspiration and something to help move them forward, like a mindset shift, or maybe even a holistic health support system to help move them forward. I would probably say parents, because of the fact that I've been through a lot of things in my childhood. I think that parents would be able to learn from those situations so that they don't put their children into those situations themselves. The third one, I'm just trying to think here. Anyone who wants to really change and transform their lives.
Excellent. And in what you've shared so far, I'm going to dial it out the web of people a little bit broader. I believe this book will serve well if you're studying clinical psychology and or social work. There's nothing better to have real scenarios, because this book is definitely not it is nonfiction, to have real life scenarios. So when cases come to you, you have real life words to be able to use to heal. I would also like to say, I'm going to say people that are involved with people who are at the brink or at their end of their rope. And that could be somebody in the suicide prevention, because we know that people that have traumatic experiences happen, they think that's their only out. And if they had another out. So again, that. And I'm also going to say a woman who you want to gift this book that is coming out of a very trying period in their life, and they have had conversations with you that it's been one trauma after another trauma after another trauma, and they're tending to live a very dramatic life versus a very purposeful life. I think this would be a beautiful book to kind of tuck into. I think it'd be from what I've read and also listened to you, Lynette, a hard book to go, here, I'm gifting you this. But if you're putting together a nice little care package, like, I care about you, so I dare you to be the best you that you can be. Kind of like that, where you've got some nice candles in there and maybe a nice little chocolates in there and some bath bombs and go. This is a Dare to Be You care package. for the lovely, and I'm also going to recommend, I have a fourth one, that the men that are out there that have a woman in their life that are coming from, and you've heard some of these stories, that your loved one, your lovely wife, girlfriend, and or daughter, aunt, uncle, that you've heard these stories from her, and now how to have a sense of empathy in order to help somebody through this. So there's 4 people right off the bat that I think would benefit from having your book as in their hand, as well as circulating out there in the world. And let's wrap this up with, so Lynette, people out there that are thinking about writing a book, what's your parting wisdom about writing a book?
Okay, it depends on what type of book. If it is a non-fiction book, then I would suggest that you just take a reflection of your past, and from there just keep writing and writing and writing. Don't let other people deter you from doing the writing.
Okay.
You can work through your issues as you're writing the book. You know, writing is very, very good therapy. And I'm just trying to think here. Be very, very wary of people who offer to help you write your book and help you publish and edit your book. Be very wary. I was caught a couple of times, and one situation I actually got all of my money back. The other situation I couldn't get any of it back.
Wow, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect advice. It's, as much as you want to get your story out, you have to do your due diligence in the relationships that you're going to build with the people in order for that journey to be out there. And yeah, great. You know what? I think you are about the 75th person that I've interviewed in this nice little MYBC consulting bookstore. And you're the first one, Lynette, who has said that, to make sure that you are doing your due diligence, and who's going to help you, and the money situation. Very, very wise, my friend. Very, very wise.
You do have to, you have to do your research. You have to make sure that these people are legit. You don't want to get caught like me. Even like in my book, I've actually written about it. So
okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Another trauma to a good outcome, which is awesome.
Yes.
So please stick around. We're going to do a screenshot with your book in the frame. So Lynette, thank you so much for sharing some of your time with me today, all the way down in Melbourne, Australia. Dare to be you. Dare to be you, a great book to read to start with 2023, a fabulous book to gift out throughout the year. We'll make sure Lynette puts a link down to her website so you can buy the book. I saw a bunch of places where you can go get it, and it's available. I saw an audio and Audible and on Kindle, or no?
Not Audible yet, but Kindle, and also hardcover, soft copy, and actually I have behind me a hardcover with a jacket, which you can get in your local bookstore. You just need to quote the ISBN number for that.
Perfect. So there's no excuse for you to not dare to be you in 2023. So again, thank you so much. And I leave you with this. Every time I do this little words of wisdom, every time I chat with authors, anybody involved in the literary world, I encourage you to grab a book, get your favorite cup of tea or favorite beverage, snuggle into the best reading possible place that you have in your home with a good light above you, and take your mind, body, and soul to another place through the words written by somebody else. Thank you so much, everybody. Good night. See you back here next Tuesday for another edition of the MYBC Virtual Bookstore. Oh, no, Virtual Bookstore Author Series. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.